Adam, what are some typical things that you see day in and day out in employment law?
So any given day can be different. You certainly have a lot of commonalities with the issues you see over the years, and the matters that you deal with as an employment law attorney. And we all have our own areas of expertise. Everybody knows that you do intellectual property. Most people know that I do workplace law or labor and employment law. And within that, there are actually even sub niches because labor and employment law is a pretty broad area, and not a lot of people know that. So the types of things that I work on a day-to-day basis are things like how to hire somebody, how to fire somebody properly, how to pay people the right way, um, how to structure employment agreements, how to structure severance agreements. So that's on the hiring, that's on the termination phase. How to set up employment policies and procedures. So I'll prepare like an employee handbook, I'll prepare a drug and alcohol policy, let's say as a standalone. Things like that make up a large portion of my practice and the things that I do on a day to day basis. And then there are the sort of reactive scenarios where I get the calls and the situations where a company is being sued, let's say for a wrongful termination type claim, where an ex-employee is alleging that the company, let's say, discriminated against that employee, or perhaps there was like a sexual harassment matter, which happens to be one of the highest volume types of cases I've been handling this year. There's a lot of sexual harassment going on, allegedly. Uh, so that, and then you have things like unpaid minimum wage, unpaid overtime, maybe breach of contract. Those are more of the reactive side of claims where, I'm helping a company typically defend against a lawsuit that's being brought against a company for those types of things. So on a day-to-day basis, it's a heavy bit of consulting on the proactive side to help companies with the hiring, the firing, the paying employees the right way, as well as a smaller dose, although now it's been a heavier dose, of the reactive side of things, where I'm helping the company react to a lawsuit that's being brought against it.